Welcome everyone! Today I want to talk with you about the former Project L, now 2xKO, and theorize and make my own roster predictions on the now officially announced game. In my predictions, I'll be aiming for a mix of what I believe is the most probable to be in the game, and I'll strive to include representatives from all the League of Legends regions and ensure there are champions or characters embodying the most common fighting game archetypes. Let's begin by estimating the number of characters I believe the game will have at launch. The best method I found to determine this is by counting the number of spots missing on the 2xKO official website. So far, the page has 14 spots for champions on the PC website and 16 spots on the mobile website, so we'll go with 16. From those 16, 4 are already filled by announced characters: Darius from Noxus, Echo from Zaun, Ahri and Yasuo from Ionia. Additionally, we've glimpsed other champions in trailers and developer updates, such as Katarina and Jinx in a very early stage of the game, and Illaoi, who has recently been officially announced. Got it. So since we already know 7 characters and there are 16 spots in total, we only need to add 9 more characters to complete the roster. This seems like a decent number, based on the fact that other popular fighting games like Street Fighter started with 18 initial characters. So now, let's proceed with predicting these additional 9 characters to complete the roster. But before, I will begin by briefly listing the fighting game's archetypes, allowing us to consider characters from the League of Legends universe that would fit each description. Let's start with Shotos. Shotos are versatile fighters who possess a balanced toolkit, typically consisting of a projectile attack, an anti-air move, and a reliable close-range option. While they lack extreme specialization, their adaptability allows them to handle various situations effectively. Bruisers. Bruisers are formidable fighters characterized by their large size, strength, and durability. They excel at close quarters combat, delivering powerful blows with their high damage moves. Despite their slower movement, they make up for it with their ability to control space and punish opponents with high damage attacks. Grapplers. Grapplers are masters of close range combat, relying on devastating throws and command grabs to overwhelm their opponents. They possess incredible strength and excel at forcing their opponents into unfavorable positions, often leaving them vulnerable to devastating follow-up attacks. Zoners. Zoners are tactical fighters who excel at controlling space from a distance. They utilize a variety of projectiles and long-range attacks to keep opponents at bay, forcing them to approach carefully. Zoners rely on their superior zoning abilities to dictate the pace of the match and frustrate their opponents. Rushdown. Rushdown fighters are aggressive and relentless, specializing in high-speed, close-range combat. They utilize their exceptional mobility and quick attacks to overwhelm opponents, applying constant pressure and forcing them into defensive positions. Rushdown fighters excel at maintaining momentum and capitalizing on openings. Puppeteers. Puppeteers are deceptive fighters who control additional characters or objects on the battlefield. They excel at creating confusion and unpredictability, using their puppets to attack from unexpected angles and set up devastating combos. Puppeteers require precise control and strategy to outmaneuver their opponents effectively. Stance. Stance fighters are versatile combatants who can switch between different fighting styles or stances mid-fight. Each stance offers unique moves and abilities, allowing fighters to adapt to various situations and opponents. Stance fighters require adaptability and quick decision-making to effectively utilize their diverse toolkit. Mix-up. Mix-up fighters specialize in confusing opponents with a wide array of unpredictable attacks and maneuvers. They excel at breaking through defenses and opening up their opponents with deceptive mix-ups, often leaving their opponents guessing. Mix-up fighters rely on their creativity and mind games to gain the upper hand in battle. Gimmick. Gimmick fighters employ unconventional mechanics or abilities that deviate from traditional fighting game norms. They often possess unique traits or gimmicks that can catch opponents off guard and disrupt their strategies. Gimmick fighters require creative tactics and mastery of their unconventional abilities to succeed in battle. And with all of that said, some champions can fall under more than one category, and you can even have additional categories. However, I believe these categories summarize the generalities of the archetypes quite well. With all of that said, let's start with a grappler. For this spot, I can only think of 2 champions, Blitzcrank and Sett. From these I would certainly choose Sett. This dude screams fighting games, and he would seem like a perfect fit for a character whose gameplay is based on command grabs. And now let's pick a zoner. For this spot, I think we can go with the Demacian that makes Riot's pockets smile. Yes, the Queen of Skins, Lux. She will fit like a glove as a zoner, pressuring enemies with her long-range abilities, making it hard for enemies to close the gap. But now, moving into Ionia for another fan favorite of the community, and I'm not talking about Riven, Akali or Irelia. It has to be Lee Sin, the Blind Monk. I don't know how he would play, but he would probably be something like a Shoto, being an all-around character and kicking people's faces. And now for the Sense character. For this spot, I thought of champions like Udyr and Nidalee, but the one who I think would fill this spot the best would be Jace. Alternating between hammer and cannon stances, he can mix up the enemies by either throwing fireballs at them or jumping on their heads with the hammer. And now, to the Shuriman Empire, I have two characters that I want to add to the roster. Of course, the Emperor of Shurima, Azir, who would play like a puppeteer controlling his soldiers on the battlefield to achieve victory. And of course Talia, who would play just like a setup character. Just imagine having your opponent in the corner and setting stones on his feet so he can't jump, or pulling him towards yourself while hurling a boulder at him. This champion would 100% be one of the coolest additions to the roster. Then with Shurima, we can move on to the Shadow Isles, where it can be no other than Viego. This guy has probably the most iconic weapon in the game, and would excel at mid-range fights using the Blade of the Rune King to its best potential. And now, to Mount Targon, I consider Leon and Pantheon, but the one that I thought would fit 2xKO the best is Diana. Just imagine her as a rushdown character using her dashes and ult to toy with the enemy while applying insane pressure. And now, for my last pick, it would be the biggest character in the game. And of course, I'm talking about Mordekaiser, the Iron Revenant. Just imagine Mordekaiser as a slow-moving titan, using his attacks to either close the distance or even utilizing his ultimate ability to control the field. With his ultimate, he could force you into the corner or disable assists from your tech character. With all the characters that I've mentioned, a champion select screen would look something like this. And if you've reached this point of the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your opinion on the roster I've created. Let me know which champion you'd prefer to see added instead of the ones I've mentioned, and without further ado, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.